Hello everyone, this is Ketish here. In this video, I'm going to go through the AQA Combined Science Chemistry Paper 1 Higher Tier from 2021. Question number 5 is on the topic of chemical changes. This question is about the electrolysis of aqueous solutions. Hydrogen gas and chlorine gas are produced when sodium chloride solution is electrolyzed. Hydrogen ions, H plus, are attracted to the negative electrode. The half equation for the reaction at the negative electrode is 2H plus 2 electrons gives you hydrogen gas. What type of reaction happens at the negative electrode? Give a reason for your answer. So this is a reduction reaction. Reason, since H plus ions gains electrons. Remember oil rig, oxidation is loss of electrons and reduction is gain of electrons. Chloride ions are attracted to the positive electrode. Complete the half equation for the production of chlorine gas. So you're trying to make chlorine gas, which means you will have Cl2 on this side. To get Cl2, you will need 2 chloride ions, which means you will have to remove an electron for both of these ions. So you'll have 2 E minus on this side. Hydrogen gas and oxygen gas are produced when sodium sulfate solution are electrolyzed. Explain how oxygen gas is produced in the electrolysis of sodium sulfate solution. So how are we getting hydrogen gas and oxygen gas from sodium sulfate solution? Now, sodium sulfate has the formula Na2SO4. So in solution, we use this space to describe this. So let's say that's a container that I have the sodium sulfate solution in. Now, sodium sulfate will break into sodium ions and the sulfate ions. This is basically a salt. It also encourages the water to break up, which is H2O, to break up into H plus ions and OH minus ions. So since sodium is actually very reactive, the hydrogen actually gets reduced to form hydrogen gas at the negative electrode. So the H plus ions go to the negative electrode. So if I draw a negative electrode, it will be attracted to the negative electrode, and hydrogen gas or hydrogen ions, 2 of the hydrogen ions will combine together to form H2 plus 2 electrons. Now these 2 electrons will move to the positive electrode on this side, and on the positive electrode, the sulfate ion is also very stable. So instead of the sulfate ion, the OH minus ion is actually oxidized. So what happens is OH minus ions, this is at the positive electrode, will form oxygen plus water plus an electron. Right now this has to be balanced. So it's 4OH actually, 2 water molecules and 4 electrons. Right, I've got this first equation wrong. I should have written, right, that's why there's a mistake there. Right, there you go. Plus 2 electrons give you hydrogen gas. Right? So the answer, water molecules You could say dissociates or breakdown. Well, let's say dissociates a better word. Dissociates to produce OH minus ions and H plus ions. So here they're actually asking about the oxygen gas, so I don't really have to mention this H plus ions. Let me get rid of this. Only after the oxygen gas, so OH minus ions, the OH minus ions are attracted to the positive electrode, right, where they are oxidized, right, which means to lose electrons, producing O2. Now you don't really have to write the equation. The equation that I described here is just for you to help understand the whole process. That is the end of this question. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next question.